Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me in the back? Can you hear me? The microphone is on. And it is what it is. I can see the meters. I can see the levels. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Boom, 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 boom. If you know, you know. Use the hashtag. What up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P. And we are back once again. And you know that when you see me on your TV, on your mobile phone, on your cell phone, on your computer, on your laptop, on your tablet, whatever it is that you're watching me on, you can understand that one thing is for certain, or one thing is for sure, and three things are for certain. Is that the Motor City Cats are back at it. We came to give you stats and not static. Number three is that whatever you do, we want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And how do you keep your Lions news pragmatic? Well, you smash that like button, you subscribe, you share. You let everybody know what is going on around here in the Lions Nation, in the world of the Lions, in the pride of the jungle, everywhere where Lions be at, we keeping it pragmatic. So we got some things that we're going to get into today. Yesterday, I started off hot. I was on a heater. And I realized 20 minutes into it that my mic was muted. And I'll take the L on that. But today, it's not going to be that type of day. I came in ready. My mic is on. I know it's on. I can see it. I can see it. All right, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to get into today. Now, you know, this time of year, I call it the silly season. If anyone else is still using that term, it is a term that I coined. Okay, I don't do much of that. I don't do much of that, and you know, saying I did this and people stole it from me and things of this nature. But there's some people out there, and they deserve to be called out for their pilfery, for their thievery, from their unscrupulous business dealings. And as they need to be called out, they will continue to be called out here on this platform. So if you hear the silly season anywhere else, first of all, if you're still over there, what's wrong with you? You understand what I'm saying? That's number one. If you're still over there, what's wrong with you? Okay, but if you're over there and you hear the silly season, just understand I coined the phrase. It's mine. And you need to let them know that they need to relinquish that because they have no right to use it. Anyway, some of you know and some of you don't know. So for those of you that are in the know, you're in the know. For those of you that are not in the know, you're out the know. But maybe in due time, you will become in the know. What up, though? TaylorMade Media. Sound check 1 2 1 2. What is this? Santana is back to business. All right. We all good, TaylorMade? You got me? You can hear me on here? And you hear me in the headphones? Let me pop this chat out right quick. All right. The sound is solid. All right. Let's see. All right. So today, as I said, it is the silly season. And the Detroit Lions, as you may know, are favorites to sign everybody. Everybody. If you get released now, it doesn't matter what position you play. You can play cornerback. You can play wide receiver. You can play running back, okay? You can play left back, ass back, all the backs. You're going to be linked with the Detroit Lions. So I want to go through a few of these scenarios where the Detroit Lions are supposed to be signing this person, supposed to be signing that person, supposed to be signing the third person. All right. Oh, hold on. That page froze. I don't like that. I don't like to see anything freeze while I'm streaming because we know sometimes what that means. It's about to go down. All right. Okay. It's crazy. There is an article from Detroit Lions on SI. It says, who is Lions all 21st century team quarterback? That's crazy. So hopefully Doc will be on the show next Monday. And because did he write that article or someone else write that article? Hold on, let me see. I got to click on it to know if he wrote it or somebody else. But I just think it's funny, especially the events of the last couple of days. Now, this was written by Christian Boer. Yeah, so it wasn't written by Doc. You can hear me now. There's no freezing. No, it was freezing on the page of the article that I was looking at, not on this page. All right. So the first one, we're gonna save the juiciest one to last, because the juiciest one, I can understand why it is what it is, but it's still a bit ridiculous to me. All right. So we got somebody who was recently released. This person plays a position that we currently have a little bit of strife in. That is the linebacker position. So it says pros and cons of signing linebacker Jermaine Pratt. Okay, if you guys are still wondering, no, Alex Anzalone has not had his contract adjusted just yet. Jermaine Pratt, if you know or don't know, he used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he was recently released. So you know the Lions need linebackers. They need linebacker depth. We got Alex Anzalone, and we got Jack Campbell, and we got Derek Barnes. Behind them, we don't have anyone else. We have Rodrigo, who is not going to be available until November. So if you were to say, hey, we need to bring somebody in, it makes a lot of sense. But where it doesn't make sense is that Alex Anzalone still needs a contract. So what are you going to do with Anzo? Are you going to bring in... Jermaine Pratt is not high profile. I would say he's medium profile. You're going to bring in a medium profile guy and pay him whatever you're going to pay him. And Alex Anzalone is still looking like, I need some grease right here. Just a little bit of WD-40. Okay. Maybe some Palmer's, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some pink oil moisturizer. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of that, right? Just grease the palm right quick. Okay. So how is he going to look at that for the entire year? I don't know. So we'll get into the article. It is also by Christian Boer, Detroit Lions on SI. It says the Detroit Lions recently made an addition at the linebacker position and could be in the mix for another player who has recently hit the free agency market. With the Cincinnati Bengals stuck in a situation regarding the future of defensive end Trey Hendrickson, they were forced to release linebacker Jermaine Pratt in what was deemed a cost-cutting move. Pratt was set to enter the final year of his current contract and had not attended any of the team's offseason workouts as a result. When they drafted linebackers Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter in this year's draft, there were questions about his future. Barrett Carter, if you guys don't know, out of Clemson, dog. I wanted him on this team, but we didn't get him. No. We got Ahmed Hassanin. Anyway, moving on. Now, Pratt hits the free agent pool after spending each of his 6 NFL seasons with the Bengals. He started 88 of his 96 career appearances, including all 17 games each of the last 2 seasons. The last 2 seasons have both been plenty productive ones for Pratt, as he surpassed 100 combined tackles in each campaign. In fact, in 2024, Pratt logged 143 combined tackles and 80 solos to go along with 2 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles. Okay? So I'll take it back. He's not high profile. He's not medium profile. He's in the middle of high and medium, whatever that is. Right? He's on the high end of the medium spectrum. Would you say that? He's on the high end of the medium spectrum, or he's on the low end of the high spectrum. So he falls somewhere in there, okay? Currently, the Lions are dealing with a situation of their own at the linebacker position. Alex Anzalone did not participate in the offseason workouts and is reportedly seeking an extension as he enters the final year of a 3-year contract. The Lions have already signed one linebacker this offseason in Zach Cunningham, who at his peak was the NFL's leader in tackles, but played in just 7 games with 4 combined tackles last year. Wah, wah, wah. All right. Last season, the Lions were forced to cycle through linebackers due to a number of injuries. Y'all remember Jamal Adams? I keep forgetting the other dude's name, and I should know his name, but I just keep forgetting it. What is his name? So help me out in the chat. Anybody in the chat know? What is his name? There's a K in it. There's a K in it. If I could just remember his last name. But anyway, we had Jamal Adams coming in off the couch, who's a safety who we converted to linebacker. That a safety came in off of the couch and became a linebacker all in the first week of play. Kwon Alexander. That's who I'm thinking of. Kwon Alexander. I told you there's a K in it. Kwon Alexander. I am not thinking of Ezekiel Turner. I don't want to think of Ezekiel Turner. Okay? TaylorMade Media says, if the Lions want to sign Pratt, all they have to do is get him on the phone with DJ Reader, but Reader's only got this year left on his deal. That is also true. And that was the Trey Hendrickson angle as well. But Trey Hendrickson maybe wants a little bit too much money. All right, there we go. And Kwon Alexander is right there in my face. I didn't read that. Okay, it said Derek Barnes and Malcolm Rodriguez all missed significant time with ailments, and as a result, the team was forced to turn to a rotating cast that featured the likes of Kwon Alexander, Jamal Adams, Ezekiel Turner, Trevor Nowatzki, and Anthony Pittman. All right, Jack Campbell, who was a mainstay for the team last year, returns for his 3rd season, but did undergo a hip procedure during the offseason. Hadn't heard about that. He's expected to be able to go for training camp and once again could plug in as the team's middle linebacker. See, could is crazy. We should know that it's definitely his position, right? When the whole group is healthy, the position is one of the best, of the most steady on the team. However, with Anzalone's status for training camp potentially dependent on a new contract and Rodriguez not expected to be available until November, it could be wise for the team to add another talent at the position. The case for the signing of Pratt would be to add another starting caliber defender to the group to compete with the established players the Lions already have. However, whether or not they'd actually pursue him likely depends on the financial amount that would be required. It would be beneficial for the Lions to add as much talent as possible at the position, but they've already invested in Barnes with a new 3-year deal. And Anzalone may be in line for an extension as well. With Campbell expected to be in the middle of the group, the Lions have their 3 starters intact. If Pratt is to become a Lion, it's because the team has concerns about the overall depth players like Turner. You don't say. Turner, Ezekiel, Mr. I refuse to cover a running back coming out of the backfield, Turner. That's the guy you talking about? Yeah, you better have some concerns. He's here for special teams, I know. But if he has to take the field again in a non-special teams role, like he's actually just rolling out to play on the actual defense with other people that play on the actual defense. No. All right. And Nowatzki, players like Turner and Nowatzki were serviceable in their opportunities last year. Nowoski was. Don't you put that on. Don't you put that on Ezekiel Turner. Don't you put serviceable on Ezekiel Turner. Don't you put that on his name. You better stop it. You better stop that. But whether or not they can continue to perform at that level could ultimately decide whether adding another player like Pratt is a necessity. Okay, I'm going to say something good about Ezekiel Turner. He did blow up Jordan Love. And everyone was loving him for blowing up Jordan Love. After that, we got the Bills game. After that, no more love. Okay. My take on hiring or hiring. I mean, technically, you are hiring them when you sign them, right? Now, my take on Jermaine Pratt. Very good player. I'd love to have him on the Detroit Lions. I don't think it's silly at all. But what I want you to do first is re-sign Big Z. When you re-sign Big Z, you can do all the other stuff that you want to do. I just want to make sure that Big Z gets his money and gets returned here. Because right now, as it stands, you don't have options at the defensive end position. Who are you getting? We'll talk about a guy in a second. But who are you getting? Who's available out there? Trey Hendrickson is available. Za'Darius Smith is available. Who else? Maybe it's some player that we don't know is available that, the Lions know is available. He's on the chopping block for whatever reason. But who else is available? Hip procedure, you're not leading the squad in tackles with no pivot. How much money is Za'Darius Smith looking for? See, we don't know that. We know that he had $17 million on the table that got taken off the table. I think it was like $11 million this year and $6 million next year. If he's looking for $11 million for 1 year, and then you can make it 3 years because you put void years in, that softens the blow. That's less than $4 million per year for the 3 years. You got 9.7 freed up in cap space once Frank Ragnow retired. I mean, again, if it's $3.9 million per year for the next 3 years, as far as what's against the cap, then I don't see why you don't do it. So that's my point. I don't know how much Za'Darius wants. If you can get him, like I said, $3.9 million cap hit for the next 3 years, maybe he's on the team for 1 more year. If you can get him for 10, if you get him for 9, and I think we stop at 9. So the cap space that you got freed up with Frank Ragnow retiring is not all the money that you have freed up. You understand what I'm saying? So cap space and money are different things. Okay? We didn't just get $9.7 million up front and say, okay, Frank Ragnow is going, here's $9.7 million. No, we got it in cap space, which means you can sign someone for a larger contract, and you can use some of the space. Doesn't have to be all of the space. You can use some of the space to go get that larger contract and some of the space to sign a smaller contract. So That's what I'm looking for. He wants Ragnar's money to play on third down. He's not just going to play on third down. He's not just going to play on third down. I would think that Marcus Davenport, but I do understand the run fit and all this other stuff. I would expect that if someone is going to play on one down per series, it's going to be Marcus Davenport. You know, it's going to be Marcus Davenport. And we can say the run fit. Well, it's what he's bringing to you in the pass rush, opposite Hutch, the help that he's going to have in the run fit with DJ Reader and, you know, Tyleek Williams, things of this nature. I think you can insulate a player who, I mean, Zadarius Smith's not bad against the run. He's not great. He's not Marcus Davenport against the run. See, I said something good about Marcus Davenport. Without qualifiers. I'm not going to qualify it. I'm just going to say he's not Marcus Davenport against the run. What up, though, Mr. Motown Mitch? He said, well, give him Ragnar's money. It ain't my money because I ain't got it. None of this money is ours. None of it is. I'll play one down per season for the Lions if they feel like replacing Davenport's next year. See, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I had nice things to say about Davenport today. Nice things to say. All right. Now, the next thing, before we get into the next thing, let me go grab something. And I will be right back. It will be a momentarily. 1 second. All right, we back. Okay. So, the second person that we're going to talk about now, it does lean a little bit into the silly season. Okay? It does lean a little bit into the silly season because at this point, at this part, at this part in time, I don't think it's going to happen because, well, it's a money game. So it says, this is an article from Sideline Report, Mike Luciano. Lions suddenly facing massive decision after minicamp no-show. The Detroit Lions have often been projected as a popular landing spot for disgruntled Cincinnati Bengals star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. And the latest development in this saga is only going to make those who want to see this pairing get even more boisterous. Hendrickson has officially decided to make things even more uncomfortable for everyone involved, sitting out mandatory minicamp in the hope of either forcing a new contract or trade out of town. It seems unlikely that Hendrickson will be a Bengal for much longer after this latest development. The Lions have had a tough offseason as they have lost some big-name players like Carlton Davis in free agency. We got DJ Reed. We good. Before watching All-Pro center Frank Ragnow walk away from football. That'll hurt. Hendrickson, however, has been throwing a series of rose petals at their feet by making his divorce from the Bengals more likely than ever before. The Lions need to act fast as a rival in the division may make this move first. Who do y'all think that rival is in the division? What up, though, JD? Everything is going to be fine. Redemption game this year is going to be the Redskins. You think it's Green Bay? What up, though, Tactical Sport? Hey, great news. Everyone can hear me today. So Lions Trey Hendrickson trade could become real after minicamp holdout. Hendrickson is coming off a season in which he led the NFL with 17 and a half sacks and was named a first-team All-Pro performer. No one Detroit could consider adding in the next few months could even hold a candle to Hendrickson as a player, which should send alarm bells off for Brad Holmes. The Lions have been very cavalier about trading draft picks in recent years, and Holmes is likely not going to stop now that someone who could further reinforce their stats as one of the best teams in the league appears to be available to anyone who meets Cincinnati's price. Detroit's decision not to spend any of their top picks in the 2025 NFL draft on pass rushers leaves Aiden Hutchinson fresh off a major injury as their only above-average outside disruptor. With offenses like those of Washington, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles in the conference, Hutchinson alone is not going to get it done. The Lions have an even clearer sign from the universe that a Hutchinson trade, I think you mean Hendrickson, trade needs to happen as soon as possible, and they would be fools to let such a golden opportunity pass them by. This window is not going to stay open forever, especially with a minimal pass rush. I feel like this, what was this guy's name? Mike Luciano. I feel like Mike Luciano watches the pod. I just feel like he does. Because when he cited Philadelphia, Washington, I'm not really going to say too much about Los Angeles. When he cited these two teams, I felt like he was saying everything that I've been saying. We need pass rush because we got to play people like that this year. Okay? Taylor May says he thinks it's the Packers. Tactical Spork says you, me, and everybody else knows that Brad isn't going to sign Hendrickson. Hell, I'm not too sure he signs Darius Smith. Well, again, hold on. Okay, again, as I said, this is the silly season. I don't think this trade is going to happen. Here's another, there's a few reasons I don't think this trade is going to happen. We're crying poor already. And maybe, as we said, next year we're projected to be 50 million over the cap, which ain't going to happen. Okay? It's just not. You have three players Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, and Jared Goff, who, if you restructure their deals, you free up what, 100 million plus in cap space. So it's not gonna happen. So we're crying poor, as I said. We're not really poor. We're just crying poor. If you really wanted to get the Trey Hendrickson thing done, money-wise, you can get it done. I don't gotta trade. I make money moves. Asset-wise is the problem. Because of the Isaac Tesla trade, now you had two third-round picks. Well, hell, three. You had 3 third-round picks that you could have given up. But you traded them. We don't have a third-round pick next season. Did we have 2 next season or what? So, all right. Anyway, we don't have third-round picks next season. So if you gave the Bengals a first and 2/3, I don't know, or a second and 2/3, they might be willing to come off of them. But you don't have those thirds as a pot sweetener anymore. So as I said, the compensation is the problem. I don't know how you're. The only way that I could say, okay, well, you don't need the thirds. Maybe you can give them a second and a fifth or whatever, is just the desperation. You're gonna have to feel like the Cincinnati Bengals are desperate to move away from Trey Hendrickson because he's become so toxic that that's what you're gonna have to do. I don't think that the Cincinnati Bengals are in that type of a rush. Motown Mitch says, I think we all know Hendrickson is unrealistic, but Smith will be a line again. At least I would put my money on it if I was a betting man. It was one this season and 2 next season. So we traded 1 this season for Z Smith, then cut him. Right. So that's why we didn't have. Okay, I got you. So as I said, Trey Hendrickson, I don't think the money is unrealistic. I just think that what's your compensation? Since we don't have any deal sweeteners, I just don't see how the trade gets done. Unless they'll take Marcus Davenport off of our hands. If they're looking for Marcus Davenport, if they say you throw Marcus Davenport in there and you got yourself a deal, you got to do what you got to do. Sorry to see you go, Marcus, but you got to do what you got to do. All right, so that is the second person. I believe that if a division rival is going to do this, it's going to be the Chicago Bears. And I believe that because they're just throwing money at everyone. The last 2 off seasons, they've had all this money, all this cap space, and they've just been buying a team. It hasn't worked to this point, to this part. Okay, it hasn't worked to this part. But I believe that if anyone in this division was going to try to go after Trey Hendrickson, it would be the Chicago Bears. And the reason that it's going to be the Chicago Bears is, look, Ben Johnson, Osama Ben Johnson has to work. He has to work. They begged and pleaded Osama to come to Chicago. It was bad. It was bad. It was as soon as Eberflus got fired, it was Osama bin Johnson. Please come home. Okay? For the Osama bin Johnson crowd, I mean, I was frequenting their podcasts and things of this nature because I just wanted to see like what kind of noise they were talking. And when I tell you that it was all that they could talk about, it was all that they could think about, you didn't hear anything else but this. Okay? All you heard was this on their podcast.
Please come home. I got beans and bologna. Please come home. I got beans and bologna.
Okay? That's all you heard. And now that he's there, he has to work. So you are going to give him the offensive weapons. You're going to give him the defensive weapons. And it doesn't matter if your team can't be sustained for the next 3 years. Because you're looking for a window of success that probably lasts 2 years. If Osama can get through the first 2 years and he's got the team pushing for the playoffs, hell, maybe even in the playoffs, year 2. If they take a step back year 3 because of the mismanagement of contracts and having to shed some things, you might be able to sell that to the fan base. I don't think Osama is a leader of men. I don't think Osama is a Super Bowl winning coach. I don't think Osama is any of those things. So if you can come out the gate hot and you can have 2 years, the first 2 years of good to marginal success or marginal to good success, then you can everyone is like, the mob is not coming out with the pitchforks if in year 3, because of these bad contracts you've been giving out, you take a step back. Does that make sense? Nothing wrong with spending money to put product on the field that folks want to see. That's not buying a team. So what I mean by buying a team is that you're just giving money to everyone and the pieces don't fit. That's why I say it's buying a team. The pieces don't fit. So because the pieces don't fit and you're not paying people based off of any particular scheme, or you're not, you know what I mean? You're just, hey, there's a high price free agent with a big name. Let's throw the bag at him. And that's the issue. That's why they've been bad. It's not because they have bad players. It's because they have players that don't fit together. You see what I'm saying? All right. The third and final person. And I believe this is where the silly season comes into play. I think if y'all put your heads together for long enough, you can figure out the person who I'm going to talk about. Lions listed as potential landing spot for who? Detroit Lions on SI, John Macaron, the doc. Who do y'all think? The Lions are listed as a potential landing spot for how haven't the Bears run out of money yet? They've been throwing bags at players for the last 3 years. I don't know. I really don't know. To be quite honest with you, I don't know. They just been paying everybody. You get a bag. You get a bag. You get a bag. It's been Oprah out there. I was told Osama bin Johnson was a genius, blew off the commandos because he and his family loved Detroit, and there was unfinished business. None of it was factual. You know, people talk, bro. They say what they say what they think is going to get the reaction that endears them the most to whatever location they're in. We all do it. You know what I'm saying? If you're in LA and you're on a certain part of town, might be better if you wear blue than if you wear red. If you're in another part of town, it might be better if you wear red instead of blue. I mean, it's a survival thing. You know? Yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm not tripping or cripping. You know, I'm not flooding or blooding. I'm just out here just trying to get across the street, my friend. You know what I'm saying? But the drum roll was for Jair Alexander. Let's ruminate upon that for a second. Let's take it in. Jair Alexander. Any of y'all think that the Detroit Lions are going out to sign Jair Alexander? Show of hands. Does anybody believe that the Detroit Lions are going to be signing Jair Alexander? He said, not me. I wear my Honolulu blue no matter where I am, especially when I'm in Chicago. Don't go to Los Angeles, my friend. Motown Mitch. Don't go out there. I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to help you. Don't go out there in South Central over there on Crenshaw and Belmont. Don't go over there wearing no blue of any kind. I don't care if it's Honolulu, Royal, Sky. Don't do it. Don't do none of it. Tactical Sports says nope. Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander. What was the thing with the captain thing that he did? He wasn't a captain, and he went out with the captains for the coin flip. Jair Alexander is a head case. Jair Alexander hasn't been able to be healthy, and that's see, we're going down the line. That's the reason why he would be a Lion, because he hasn't stayed healthy the last 2-3 years. And that's why he would be signed by the Detroit Lions. He said, nothing in LA for me, brother. No worries. They can keep it. I'm just trying to keep you safe, Motown. Just trying to keep you safe. If you happen to be there one day for any reason, you go to a conference, you know, somebody comes out and is like, we want Motown Mitch to be an extra on some show, you know, CSI Los Angeles, whatever. I just want you to stay safe. That's all. I was told Jair Alexander was a virus, got an attitude problem, the whole nine, by a guy who's never been to a presser. See, I stopped short of calling him a virus. I'm just talking factual things. I'm not trying to embellish and act like I have knowledge of anything that I don't have knowledge of. Tactical Sports says, I'm good on Alexander. Keep him away from Detroit. Okay. Motown Mitch says that'll be the day. They got prettier boys than my old ass for that. I'm just saying, it might. The extra might be an old guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a diverse cast. It's not just pretty folks and folks with no wrinkles. Yeah. Here's the thing. All the things that we've heard about Jair Alexander coming out of the Packers organization. I don't know, when was the last time he played against the Detroit Lions? I don't remember. Okay, did he play against us last season? He might have. Who knows? He's been injured. He's been unavailable. He's got some behavioral issues. Okay. We also just went out and signed DJ Reed. We got Terrion Arnold, who, by the way, let's have a conversation about Terrion Arnold in 1 second. We've got Amik Robertson. We've got Ennis Rakestraw, who we want to bring along. So Terrion and Ennis, both second-year players. DJ Reed is their vet. DJ Reed, Amik Robertson, those are their vets. Those are the people that you want mentoring them. Those are the people that you want imparting knowledge on them. Those are the people that exude professionalism that you want your young guys to mimic. Jair Alexander, from all the things that we hear about him, he's not that type of guy. He's also not Jair Alexander anymore. So sign him for what? What does he do for this team? I do not know. Didn't Zadarius Smith allegedly have problems in Green Bay? I don't know that he had problems in Green Bay, and he had problems with Green Bay, because they didn't want to sign him. But we didn't hear anything about Zadarius. This Jair stuff is well documented. That's why Tactical said, I'm good, keep him away from Detroit. That's why Motown Mitch gave us a thumbs down when we're talking about Jair. All right, so the Terrion Arnold situation. I guess Alexander could replace Mosley on the IR for us. Possibly. That would be his position. The Terrion Arnold situation. This is where my question about Matthew Stafford comes from. Matthew Stafford was able to throw 8,000 picks and 5,000 pick sixes, but it was never his fault. It was always that he didn't have a run game. He didn't have coaching. He didn't have an organization. He didn't have an offensive line. It was never his fault. Even though if you go look at that link I gave you yesterday, if you go look, a lot of those picks were his fault. 5-minute video about him throwing picks to one team. Multiple pick games against that same team. At some point, you got to get in the film room and you got to study and you have to understand the opponents that you play against, especially when it's an opponent that you see twice a year within your division. So now Terrion Arnold, as a rookie, is being bashed and being trashed, who's being labeled a bust. People don't like the fact that he raps. People don't like the fact that he's on social media posting a lot. People just tell him, well, you need to be working on your craft. You need to do that. Yeah, he posts workout videos all the time. I saw a workout video he posted at the beginning of the offseason where he was working on getting his head around. And what was the main thing that I told you guys last season that he needed to work on? Getting his head around. Now, while Terrion Arnold doesn't watch the pod, and I had a plan to make that happen, but I'm just not going to be able to execute that plan this year. Maybe next year. But then again, maybe I won't have to execute the plan to get some of the players to watch the pod. Maybe we'll share it, and someone will come across it and be like, "Oh, this is great." What up, though, Jody Carruthers? You can hear me clearly today. But the Terrion Arnold hate that permeates throughout this fan base is wild. I'm not one of those people that likes to run around and tell other people that they don't know ball. But if what you thought you saw with Terrion Arnold last season wasn't warranted, you either don't know ball or you have no patience. Okay? You either don't know ball or you have no patience. Terrion Arnold is a rookie corner. Sauce Gardner burst onto the scene as a rookie. He had a reputation that preceded him, and nobody was really trying him. When they started trying him in year 2, did he have a better season his rookie season or a worse season than his rookie season? I would say it was worse. Terrion Arnold has been prepared by Aaron Glenn. So Aaron Glenn gave us a gift. He gave us a parting gift. And his parting gift that he gave us was to baptize Terrion Arnold, our young rookie corner, by fire. Again, what seems to be lost on those fans who are vilifying Terrion Arnold, castigating Terrion Arnold, and calling for the castration of one Terrion Arnold. Don't seem to understand that playing the most man coverage snaps in the entire league as a rookie is really, really, really good for your development. Did he get cooked in the Commanders game? Sure he did. Also, his pass rush in the Commanders game was who. This is another reason why we talk about the pass rush, because the pass rush helps. What the? I mean, just notification after notification after notification. My goodness. All right, let's mute those. The pass rush helps the secondary. Right? Pause on castration. Yes, I got you. All right. So Motown Mitch says, how do you know TA don't watch the pod? I might be TA and just pretending to be an old, out of shape, fat, unathletic plumber. He says, okay, so I'm no TA, but you never know. It could be detrimental, but here's the question. Did you see a person that looked like they had no confidence? Because it could have killed his confidence, right? Do you feel like Terrion Arnold is a person whose confidence was shattered? And we've been watching sports and playing sports for a long time. You can tell when the confidence is shattered. I'll tell y'all a story. My son plays soccer. Okay? My son plays soccer. And they have a goalie. Their goalie can give up one goal and he slumps his shoulders. If he gives up 2 goals, you already know he's given up 5, 6, or 7 for the game. In most games. So if he gives up 2 goals, they better be up 3-2 by the time. Because if they're if it's 2-0, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. That dude is going in the tank. Okay? I didn't see that from Terrion Arnold. I didn't see any lack of confidence. I saw Terrion Arnold continue to get better and to continue to step up to the task. Now, here's the other thing. When we talked about the people around him, DJ Reed, Amik Robertson, Kirby Branch. You might as well just call him Kirby Branch, right? Because I haven't called him Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. Just call him Kirby Branch. Kirby Branch. Okay, they wanted to call him Smash and Grab. Brian Branch didn't like it. Or no, Kirby didn't like it. Okay, so Kirby Branch, DJ Reed, and Amik Robertson also are not going to allow that to happen with Terrion Arnold. They are not going to allow confidence to be shattered. DJ Reed is a vet. He's been in the league, 7-8 years? DJ Reed came in here and told y'all, he stood up in front of the microphone and he said, Terrion was watching his film and telling him things that he needed to work on. And he said, he looked and he said, Terrion was right. And he immediately began working on those things. This secondary room that we have is one of the best rooms in the league as far as talent and culture. A vet comes into the league and a guy that has only played a rookie season. A vet comes into the locker room and a guy that has only played his rookie season can tell him, look, I was watching your film. I think that this is something that you can improve upon. And that vet doesn't turn around and look at him and say, man, you come straight out of a comic book. Hashtag, if you know, use the hashtag. Okay, that vet turns and looks at him and goes, you know what, you're right. I do need to work on that. And goes and starts working on it. So the accountability and the camaraderie that this squad has, that particular room, the secondary room, nobody's allowing Terrion Arnold to lose confidence. You get cooked by DK Metcalf, they're going to go pick him up and be like, everybody gets cooked by DK Metcalf. It's okay. That doesn't mean anything about you. So I give him a chance, bro. Give him a chance. Darius Slay, 0 interceptions in his rookie season. By the time Darius Slay was out the door, it was a what the F situation. What the F do you mean, Darius Slay he's been traded? What are you talking about? How did you do that? Fatty Matty Patty needs to be fired immediately. Darius Slay is gone. Quandre Diggs is gone. Oh, Fatty Matty Patty got to go. Okay, but when Darius Slay came in here as a rookie, he didn't have a great rookie season. He was getting cooked. He was out of position. One thing you couldn't say about Terrion Arnold is that you often saw him out of position because I told you his coverage was sticky. I don't care what PFF says. I don't care what all these advanced stats and metrics say. The kid is going to be fine. He's got to work on 2 things and 2 things only. Trusting his technique and getting his head around because his technique's already good. Very sticky coverage. Sticks with anyone. Anyone that he was was matched up with. You did not see no Jeffrey Oh Hell No Cuda burnt toast barbecue chicken alert. You didn't see none of that. My man gave up 4 touchdowns. We play a 17-game season. Jeff Okudah gave up 4 touchdowns a week. What are we talking about? Taylor Made Media says, hell no. He was the Lions' #1 pick and was a starter. Confidence is the last problem he might have. Correct. To Goff's defense, he did not give up 45 to the Redskins. No, he didn't. He didn't give up 45, but I know he spotted him 6. For sure, he spotted him 6. The old Stafford special. Keep in mind, O'Neal has never taken a snap in the NFL. That's why you bring a DJ Reed into the locker room. By the way, my man Lynn Barney had to. You keep saying that, Taylor May, but that's Lynn Barney. Lynn Barney's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if Terrion Arnold's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to tell you he is. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you he's going to be fine. I'm telling you he's going to be okay. That's not true, bro. DK did not cook Mosley, maybe because he was on the IR, but DK did not cook him. Well, you can't get cooked if you don't play, you know, and that's a lot of people are on the fence like that. Well, if you don't play, you can't get cooked. So they don't know. They never play. Dang, Taylor May, your boy Lim, bro, you might be older than me. Yeah, Taylor May throws out Lim Barney all the time, and I'm just, again, I am not comparing Terrion to Lim. I'm not comparing him to Dick Night Train Lane, okay, who has more interceptions than Lim Barney. I'm not doing that. I'm just let Terrion be Terrion, okay? Terrion's rookie season was not Sauce Gardner's rookie season, but Sauce Gardner's rookie season, second season wasn't great. And Terrion may not be Patrick Surtain, who is probably, for sure, not probably, for sure, the best cornerback in the league right now. There is not a cornerback better than Patrick Surtain II that you can find in the NFL right now. Okay? Quinyon Mitchell looked like he had a better season, but also Quinyon Mitchell's defensive line was full of dogs uninjured. The only dog that got injured was Brandon Graham, and he was an old dog. So old that he re-injured himself in the Super Bowl and retired after winning his second. So give Terrion time, give him a healthy defensive line in front of him, and then judge him. You know, if any position, because they always say 3 years to judge a draft class. If any position needs the entire 3 years, it's cornerback. Any position. You run backwards the entire game. You run backwards and you're covering a person who knows exactly where they're going. And you have no idea. So you have to use your brain. You have to use your technique. You have to use your study skills to understand little nuances. Go back and watch Stephon Gilmore break down his Defensive Player of the Year season with, I think it was Baldinger. Go watch that. Go watch how he explains the game from a corner perspective and how you can understand what people are going to do and how he knew how someone was going to do this or that based off how they lined up. And then you'll understand why he was the first corner since Deion Sanders to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Because corner ain't easy. It's not. I played it. It ain't easy. Okay? It is one of the most difficult positions out there on the football field. Night Train Lane used to live in Russell Woods with Dina Washington. Oh my God, Tactical. Tell her to stop. Tell her to stop. Tell her to stop. Did she just start the series or she's just watching it now? If she just started the series, tell her to stop it. Tell her to stop it. Motown Mitch says, honestly, never got to see a true lockdown CB in the D my whole life. Wish I could have seen Night Train Lane or Sir Lim Barney play. Yeah, that would have been nice. I mean, we had Darius Slay. Rasheem Mathis was good for us. Rasheem Mathis was also good for Darius Slay. And that goes back to what I was saying about having your vets. And that's why I'm saying Alexander don't fit. It's just, I don't understand. Bring him in for what? For who? You know? This is her third time watching it. Tell her to stop it. Tell her to stop it. It only gets worse from there. Okay? Once you watch episode or series or season number 1. Season number 1 wasn't as bad as everything that followed it. Okay, because season number 1, you could have been naive about what you were watching. You were still going, oh, this is a true story based on somebody's life who used to play in the NFL. No, sir. No, sir. Tell her to stop it. Tell her that nothing good comes out of watching All-American. Nothing. No story, no good story ever starts with, so I was watching All-American. Only bad. Only bad. There's nothing good that comes out of it. All right, y'all. So we're going to head out. As you know, we will not be here tomorrow. We will be here on Friday, though, and I will continue reaching out to Doc. I wanted to have him on the show this past Monday, this week, but his daughter had graduation. But we have agreed to continue to touch base on Monday, on the Monday coming. The reason that I want him to be here on Monday is because I'll be on LNU on Monday simulcasting, and we generally get a larger crowd that day. So being able to get more questions in and things like that. But if it doesn't work for that Monday, I don't want to continue putting it off because I do want to ask him about OTAs and things like that. And while it's still a fresher topic, you know, a week later is fine. You know, you start dragging it 2 weeks, then nobody cares about it. So, yeah, we're going to try to get him on here next Monday. If not, then probably Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime in the week. You know, we'll rip the Band-Aid off and get him on here. What up, though, Armenian man? I ain't seen you in a while. Oh, this is her third. Oh, wow. The entire series. Whew. Well, Tactical, I don't know what to say, man. I do not know what to say. That. You're a patient man, Tactical. You are a patient man. Motown Mitch says, Master Pimp, Special Ops, my guy, the man, the myth, the Don, Motor City, Don P. It's been great, bro. Have a good one, man. You too, Motown Mitch. And with that, we are going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. It has been fun. It has been real. And I appreciate you guys once again for coming through, hanging out. All my guests to stop by for a conversation and a drink. If you know, you know, use the hashtag. The Motor City Cats are back at it. We came to give you stats and not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions News pragmatic. And we are out. Peace.